here's the second part of my Istanbul vlog. This trip was actually work related. Usually when I travel for work, it's only for a day or two. Mostly meetings, site visits, then fly straight back home. But since it was my first time in Istanbul, I decided to book an earlier flight before the actual site visit, just to explore the city a little more. And honestly, I'm glad I did. One thing about me, whenever I visit a new country, I always try to experience their cable cars. And honestly, EU Pier Lottie cable car is probably one of the most unique ones I've tried so far. The station is located right beside a massive historic cemetery, and as the cable car slowly goes down the hill, it literally glides over rows of graves and trees below.
Alo, selamlar. Abi, 65 kişi. İki otobüs, bir tanesi yeter. 6-10 geçebilir.
What made it even more surreal was seeing cafes and restaurants built along the hillside, right in the middle of the cemetery area, something you honestly wouldn't expect to see in most countries. Strangely enough though, the entire place felt peaceful rather than eerie, especially with the panoramic views overlooking Istanbul and the Golden Horn.
Efendim abi. Efendim abi. Buyur abi.
Shortly after that, I went for a cruise along the Bosphorus, which was actually included in the tour package I booked through the hotel I was staying at. Seeing Istanbul from the water gives you a completely different perspective of the city. One side is Europe, the other is Asia, and in between you see layers of history everywhere. Historic mosques, palaces, old waterfront houses, massive bridges, and modern buildings all existing together. There was also something calming about just sitting on the boat, feeling the cold air, watching the ferries pass by, and seeing everyday life happening along both sides of the Bosphorus. For a moment, it didn't even feel like work trip anymore.
Recorrido por el Bósforo. El día de hoy seré su guía en español. Nuestro viaje durará 2 horas. Iremos 1 hora por el lado europeo y posteriormente regresaremos 1 hora por el lado asiático de Estambul. Durante su recorrido les incluyen Nescafé y té chai ilimitado. Si desean alguna otra bebida adicional, y la pueden adquirir en la parte de abajo donde mis compañeros están gustosos de atenderlos. Si desean fumar pueden hacerlo bajando las escaleras en la parte delantera de nuestro barco y los sanitarios se encuentran en la parte trasera. Si tienen alguna duda, pueden acudir a la cabina del capitán.
Constantinople, it's heritage acquires in the city. It's 62 meters high and has amazing panoramic view of Istanbul. In Ottoman period, this part of Istanbul is called as a new city because directly opposite of Galata is called Old City, Sarayburnu and Sultanahmet districts. On the right side of both, you can see Hagia Sophia and Topkapi Palace, which is the first palace of Ottomans. This district was capital of Roman and Ottoman empires almost 2000 years. Chains. The name Turan comes from the Persian word Churak, meaning torch. This area was called as Turan because of the famous Ottoman festivities, which were held in metallic cordons decorated with torches in the evenings. This was known as Turan festivals. The palace was built by Sultan Abdul Aziz and designed by the Armenian architect Megagos Palyan. The main building was destroyed by a fire in 1910, then it was renovated in the 19th by Kempinski International Hotel chains. Today it's one of the most expensive hotels in Turkey. One night in Sultan Suites cost around $30,000 US. Дамы и господа, сейчас слева от нас красуется еще один дворец, называется он Чираган Палас и переводится как «факел с фарси». Он затем приказывал уже султана Абдуля Азиза, даже в середине 19 века. Стиль также европейский, не классический барокко, но, к сожалению, в 1910 году был частично разрушен из-за пожара. А вот в 90-х годах немецкая сеть отелей Кемпинск.
اوكي أصدقاء على يسار القارب بنشوف مسجد أورتاكوي. طبعا كلمة أورتاكوي بالعربي بتعني القرية الوسطى. بنى المسجد بأمر من السلطان عبد المجيد عام 1854 من قبل المعمار الأرمني نيغوس باليان. بنشوف أمامنا حاليا جسر البوسفور الأول أو الجسر المعلق. بيبلغ طول الجسر 1560 متر، ارتفاع الجسر عن سطح الماء 65 متر، وعرض الجسر 33 متر. طبعا هو أول جسر انبنى على مضيق البوسفور عام 1973 حتى يوصل بين الجهتين الأوروبية والآسيا وإسطنبول. طبعا بعد أحداث الانقلاب العسكري اللي حدث بإسطنبول عام 2016 تحول اسم الجسر لاسم جسر شهداء 15 تموز. برجع بذكر أصدقاء على يسار القارب نشوف القسم الأوروبي وإسطنبول، أما على اليمين القسم الآسيوي وإسطنبول.
construido en 1988. Del lado
Дамы и господа, вот сейчас слева от нас находится крепость Румели-Хисан. Здесь она была возведена специально по приказу султана Мехмеда Завоевателя за год до захвата Константинополя, чтобы отрезать Византийскую империю от Черного моря перед финальным основным штурмом. На строительство всего этого сооружения ушло всего лишь 4 месяца и 19 дней. А уже вот через 9 месяцев спустя султан Мехмед захватил полностью всю Византийскую империю и ее столицу Константинополь. Район также называется Румели. Это очень популярный район благодаря турецким фильмам и сериалам, которые здесь присняты.
وعرض الجسر 39 متر. طبعا أصدقائي حاليا رح نتابع جولتنا باتجاه الجهة الآسيوية لإسطنبول.
Ne dedi ya? My sister, my sister. My sister. No, ben no sister.
Нет. Вот какой красивый, да?
Neydi benim bu stand-up gösterisinin ardından biletleri toplayalım.
The next day, my colleague finally arrived, and we decided to spend the day just walking around and exploring Istanbul together. Starting from our hotel, we slowly made our way through the city with several stops along the way. Exploring random shops, local streets, cafes, and some of Istanbul's most iconic spots like Galata Tower. And the famous bridges connecting different parts of the city. Eventually, we reached Hagia Sophia, and luckily, We arrived an hour before closing time, which still gave us enough time to properly explore the interior. And honestly, seeing Hagia Sophia in person felt unreal. It's one of those places you've seen countless times online or in history books, but standing inside, it is a completely different experience. The scale, the atmosphere, and the layers of history inside the building were just incredible. After that, we visited the Hagia Sophia History and Experience Museum, which was included with the ticket. That part made the experience even more meaningful because we got to learn more about the history of Hagia Sophia. By the end of the day, it honestly felt like we had walked through centuries of history in just few hours.